The office today, with the not so serious part, that you're still a partner, and you still do jobs with us and doing QCs. And so I put together a little confidentiality agreement to cover the rest of the evening. And so it reads, I, Robert L. Sommerville, being of sound mind and not having consumed too many bottles of Chris Wallace's Special Reserve label wine, recognize that part of this evening's festivities include a roast of me by individuals I still have influence over as a partner of Kiter, including not limited to being a direct supervisor in the firm and a member of the firm's compensation committee. I hereby acknowledge and agree to the following. Number 1, remember to stick out my tongue slightly to show that I'm really joking and not being serious. Number 2, keep my glass full, as we are a bunch of accountants, and beverages really make this event more fun. 3, not remember who said what after tonight, so not to influence any evaluations between now and the time that you retire. That's what I call what happens at the party stays at the party clause. And finally, do not overdo clause number 2, that's above, that you fall over Chris's brick wall in the backyard later in the evening and become the one who's embarrassed themselves and become the talk of the office in contradiction of number 3 above. Now I've put this in large print for you because I know you're getting close to retirement. But I've also done the privilege of go ahead and signing it for you. And what I figure is, you won't remember signing it after tonight anyway, and so it really won't matter. Now that we've covered the legalities, there are 3 things I really want to address with Bob. I am kind of the most tenured individual at Kiter within this group. Actually, I was here before John started. Again, one of the longer people at Kiter. And so I've been able to welcome Bob when he comes into the firm, kind of seeing how he's taken our group and kind of evolved it over the last, I believe it's 13, 14 years now. And really there are 3 points, and Chris has already touched upon 2 of those points. But the third point that Chris really didn't talk on was you spent a lot of time trying to build a big, strong audit team. And probably the one example I have in terms of how you went and tried to do team development skills was that trip that you took whitewater rafting out on the Dolly Road. Now y'all haven't heard about this, or most of y'all haven't heard this story, but Bob decides to take a group whitewater rafting. Okay. Bob was in the Army Reserve, not the Navy. He doesn't swim. When he got to the rapids, it was every man for himself, and so he was going to preserve his life first. And what I understood is he tossed everyone else out of the boat. Okay, so that covers the team building side. Chris touched upon having a better product, essentially a more thorough financial statement and services that we perform to our client. Bob and I over the years have kind of bannered back and forth where he questions my upbringing of William Mary education and I kind of go back about West Virginia Wesleyan. But one of the things that we have always disagreed upon is the placement of commas. I would put a comma in certain areas and he would go through in his QC and he would mark them out. Well, just before you leave, I want to make sure that you understand that the way I was doing commas was appropriate. When you have a series of items, it's the first item, comma, second item, comma, third item, comma. When you have an and, you have a comma before the and. So here's my authoritative reference that you the commas in it.
1984.
And finally, the last part of it, as Chris mentioned, Bob is very technical. And as we understand, he does a lot of QCs, and we get QC comments as he goes through the financial statements. I have some examples for you of Bob's comments I've also gone and translated Bob's comments in terms of how we, being the recipient of the comments, interpreted those comments. Then I also included how we responded to Bob. And then finally I also have how we really wanted to respond to him. So my first example. Warranty expense are over 10% of net income, which most readers would view as material. Why does the company not disclose all the information for product warranties as outlined in ASC 460-10-50-7? Beginning balance provision, cost incurred, other adjustments, ending balance.
It seems reasonable enough.
Agreed.
Read James River Equipment.
Okay, this is how we interpreted the note. I'm getting tired of asking this question. Why are we not disclosing information? Because the word warranty is in the statement at any amount. Do you not know the proper gap on this item? Okay, the engagement team's response. Bob, remember that this company does not manufacture and warranty the equipment, just sell it. This is an excess cost that the manufacturer requires the company to eat. Okay, this is what the engagement team was really thinking. Ah, geez, Bob is already losing it and doesn't remember that this company doesn't make the equipment, so how can they give warranties? Hello, how long is it until he retires? My second example. Since the company is not doing an OCI presentation due to immateriality, consider removing the statement of stockholders' equity and calling the previous statement a statement of operations and retained earnings. Okay to leave as is, too. This is how it was interpreted. Come on, guys, you should know that when you get rid of OCI, you don't need a separate statement. Get rid of it already. Engagement team's response. Noted. This is what the engagement team was really thinking. Goodness sakes, we've toiled and labored over this audit for months, trying to get responses from the client that never returns our calls, who finally calls and asks us what the holdup on the audit is. Why is he asking this as he knows we're trying to get this out of the door like yesterday? Let's just get this done, or I'm going to crawl up underneath my desk and quietly bang my head against the wall. Example number 3. Nope. There's 4, so y'all can refill if you need to. I was getting there. No valuation reserves for inventory.